Of the 15,000 murders that happen in America each year, 1 in 10 are committed by women.
I shot my husband. I'm in here for shooting my husband.
Most of these cases are the result of drink and drugs, mental illness, or marital abuse.
I pushed him against the wall and he... Oh my God!
But there's a certain breed of murderess who's more devious and unusual than the rest.
Everyone knows I would never hurt that man in any way.
They make up less than 5% of female killers. Some call them black widows, and their motive is money.
I wouldn't have killed him because that would be cutting off my nose to spite my face.
In this film, we meet two women convicted of extraordinary crimes. But even against compelling evidence, they deny all guilt.
I honestly can't look at you and believe a word that's come out of your mouth. You have lied and lied and lied and lied.
You can't tell me that I would kill a man in the only carpeted room in the house. I mean, come on, I'm a woman.
At the highest security women's prison in Texas resides one of the state's most notorious murderers, 53-year-old Celeste Beard Johnson.
I wish that I would have done a lot of things different. Yes, I do, but I finally, maybe within the last year, stopped beating myself up because I can't do anything about what happened.
In 2003, she was found guilty of killing her millionaire husband and sentenced to life in prison.
I just can't believe that I'm going to be stuck here for 40 years for something I didn't do. I mean, I just have to believe that that's not going to happen, because if I do, I might as well just die.
Celeste's story captured the imagination of the world's media and spawned 2 best-selling books. Susie Spencer spent 2 years researching one of them.
I combed through the medical records. I sat through the trial testimony, but I did not get the story of Celeste Beard until I met her. All of a sudden, I got it, because she's charming, she's fun, she's lively, and she tells you just enough truth mixed in with her lies that they become believable. She's fascinating.
A twisted Texas tale of greed, betrayal, and murder. The story of Celeste was a train wreck waiting to happen.
In 1993, 31-year-old Celeste Martinez moved to Austin with her 2 daughters and 3rd husband.
The 90s in Austin was like boom, high-tech times. Everywhere you would look, there were fancy restaurants opening up with big price tags. It was just money, 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 money everywhere.
It was during this boom time, Celeste found a waitressing job at the Austin Country Club, home to the city's new rich elite.
Celeste came to Texas, and Celeste wanted to be rich. At Austin Country Club, I think that she thought that there probably was a wealthy man that she could hook.
One of the club's most affluent customers was Stephen Beard, a 69-year-old TV tycoon worth over $12 million.
I was attracted to him. I would talk to him, he would talk to me. I remember everybody would be scared to wait on Stephen's table because he was, getting drunk and loud and demanding, and they were all scared of him, but I wasn't.
Within 6 months, Celeste had left her husband and moved in with Stephen Beard.
All of a sudden, Beard's got this girlfriend. And me and some of other Steve's friends, we'd say, Steve, tell me about your new girlfriend. And he'd go, house manager, God damn it, house manager. So, You know, he considered her his house manager.
In February 1995, Stephen and Celeste were married.
All of Steve's friends knew that this woman was a charade. It wasn't real. But who's going to tell Steve that? It all came down to money. I mean, that's what she wanted.
When she moved in, Stephen Beard agreed to give Celeste her own monthly allowance.
$35,000 a month. That was my stipend. But that's a lot of money. And he said I could spend it however I wanted. I would have diamonds. I had over $500,000 in jewelry. Furs, I had 26 fur coats.
She developed an insatiable thirst for more. This woman who didn't have $10 to spend on anything was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on nothing.
He didn't care because he was enjoying his life. And if he got mad at me about spending too much money, it didn't last very long.
But Stephen Beard was getting concerned. After 2 years, he gave Celeste a final chance to control her spending. He replaced her allowance with a trust fund of $500,000. Within 6 months, even that was gone.
She was burning through it. And when he tried to get her to see, she rebelled against that. And she decided that if he was going to put limits on it, he had to die, which is just absolutely insane.
Ambulance location of emergency. Hello?
I need an ambulance, hurry. 3900 Solo Canyon Road. My guts just came out of my stomach.
Out of your...
They blew out. Yeah, they blew out of my stomach.
Hey, sir, how did...
I'm in awful pain.
How did this happen?
From the beginning, you have to remember that there were a lot of things going on that night. And I recall when the police arrive on the scene, they can't get into the house, and they're banging on the doors, there's sirens going on outside. And when the police finally get inside the house, the crime scene had been set up to look like a robbery.
Inside, police found furniture overturned and drawers opened. Stephen was bleeding heavily from the abdomen. Celeste was by his side.
As the police dealt with her that night, her behavior was very strange. Celeste Beard sometimes seems to be fake crying, just crying when someone was looking at her. Then later on, she seemed to have no emotions whatsoever.
I was in shock. I mean, I was just in shock because they weren't telling me anything. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that it was bad.
Stephen Beard was airlifted to hospital with severe abdominal injuries.
After Stephen Beard was taken to the hospital, one of the officers on the scene notices a shotgun shell on the floor.
A ballistics test on the shell led police to another woman, a friend of Celeste's called Tracy Tarlton.
As crazy as it sounds, Celeste was ultimately able to convince Tracy to murder Beard. She couldn't help herself. She wanted everything.
You know, it's just crazy. I loved him and I would never hurt somebody like that.
After 3 months in hospital, Stephen Beard finally died as a result of his injuries.
I still don't understand how she can be walking around. My biggest regret is ever bringing Tracy into our life.
This is what comes up when you Google me. Celeste.
59-year-old Tracy Tarlton has spent 10 years in prison for shooting and killing Stephen Beard. She's serving the remaining 12 years of her sentence on parole.
I think that some people believe that this could never happen to them. But I can absolutely tell you that I would have told you I would never kill somebody at one point, you know, and I did.
Tracy and Celeste met in March 1999 at St. David's, a top Austin psychiatric hospital. Both women were receiving treatment for depression.
You know, at the time that I met Celeste, I was at a very low ebb. I was ripe for the picking, you know.
Her husband, Stephen Beard, he asked her to quit spending so much money. When she refused, he threatened to divorce her, and that's when she started faking these suicidal attempts.
In St. David's, she was, you know, really vivacious and fun and funny. She was kind of the belle of the ball. You know, I was attracted to her energy. One night she came into my room and you know, kissed me. As time progressed, we became friendlier and friendlier, you know, closer and closer. We sort of entered into the beginnings of an affair.
It wasn't like that. The truth is, I felt sorry for her. She couldn't even tie her own shoes. She was so medicated.
I mean, she said you had a relationship.
Well, that's not true. No, and I didn't hang around her as much as she wants everybody to believe that I did.
They had couples counseling. Friends don't go to a counselor to get couples counseling. They were taking trips together. There were love letters exchanged. Celeste Beard had gotten a ring, and she gave that ring to Tracy Tarlton.
We go back now and we realize Celeste was doing exactly what Celeste does, manipulate. The really scary part is how she projected into the future how this whole thing could work out.
One day, she explained to me that she had married this man, but she said that from the get-go that he was psychologically abusive to her. That's why she was in St. David's, that, you know, she felt suicidal around him. He used to tell her that she was just crazy and she ought to just go ahead and kill herself. At the time, you know, I believed that he was a monster and that she was his victim.
She's nurturing her. I love you. You know, I just want to be together with you. Steve's killing me. I can't live like this.
Over several months, Celeste conspired with Tracy to try and murder her husband.
You know, she had a gun to her head, basically, saying, do this or I'm gonna kill myself. And I believed her. I believed her at the time.
Tracy tried to help Celeste kill Steve several times. She made up a batch of botulism to poison Steve that Celeste put in his chili cheese dog.
She finally asked me to shoot him, and I said, no, I'm not gonna shoot him. What do you mean, shoot him? I mean, I was shocked and resistant, but it became more and more pressing for her, and she became more and more threatening about it, and I finally thought, if he doesn't die, she's gonna die. And I said I would do it. She formulated the plan and told me what it was. There were phone calls about it. She told me what to wear, dark clothes, dark hoodie. Said that I would come over about 3 o'clock. She would sleep in the girls' bedroom down the hall. She would leave his door unlocked. I'd parked where she told me to park, walked along the side of the house. As I was walking up to the house, I stopped at one point and just pressed myself against the wall, thinking, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then thinking, you have to do this.
Tracy's a damaged soul. All she wanted to do was to be loved, and she thought Celeste Beard truly loved her. This is the woman I love. This is the woman who cares about me. I've got to save her.
The door was open to the bedroom. She told me to shoot him in the stomach. She said she didn't want to have to redecorate. And she said she would pick up the shell. Don't worry about the shell. I constantly can't believe that I did it. But I did.
I've sat knee to knee to several killers. And Tracy's the only one I walked away from admiring and respecting. If you hear her story, she didn't have a chance. God, it was sad.
To shoot somebody for a charlatan. I don't think it says much about me.
I mean, it's just crazy. How does she walk around and function every day knowing her lies got me put in here for life?
So why did she kill Stephen?
She said so we could be together at my lake house. I just wish she would tell the truth. I wish she'd have a conscience. And I feel that that's why she got breast cancer. I feel like that was her karma.
So-called black widows like Celeste tend to murder their husbands or lovers, but their victims aren't always as familiar. In the state of Florida, a woman is serving a life sentence for killing a stranger she befriended for his money. Like Celeste, Doris Dee Dee Moore denies all guilt.
I used to think that everybody that was in prison deserved to be here for whatever they were here for, and that we had a bunch of murderers that we needed to keep out of society, and there were some just bad people here. But I learned that there are a lot of people here for stupid reasons.
In 2012, Dee Dee Moore was found guilty of murdering a man who'd won $30 million on the lottery. The verdict was unanimous.
In my case, none of my facts came out, or I would not be here. If my facts came out, I would have never got convicted.
I've been in law enforcement for just over 18 years now, and of all the suspects, defendants, individuals that I've encountered, there will never be another defendant like Dee Dee Moore. She's a pathological liar.
Dee Dee Moore is a very slick individual. She knew what she was doing. She was very charismatic. She was intelligent, but she was also greedy, and her web of spinning lies caught up with her.
In 2006, a truck driver from a poor neighborhood in central Florida bought a jackpot-winning lottery ticket. His name was Abraham Shakespeare.
When Shakespeare won the lottery, the entire community really won the lottery. He bought homes for people, he paid for funerals, he purchased vehicles. He was Lakeland's stimulus package.
News of Shakespeare's generosity spread. Before long, queues of people looking for handouts formed outside his new $1 million mansion.
You gotta remember, He was overwhelmed with people who were saying, gimme, let me have. You know what I mean? I need this, I need that. You know what I mean? My dog has been hit, my child is in the hospital, my rent is due, my lights is off. At some point in time, he had got to the point of being aggravated with calls and the bombarding of people.
I really would like my old life back where I could walk the streets like a normal person, but got people coming up asking for money.
It was at this time that Dee Dee Moore heard about Shakespeare's story. She was the founder of a successful recruitment agency and introduced herself, offering to solve his financial problems.
Here's a lady who says she's wealthy, who stands above the normal poor black folks. Now you have somebody who's saying, I don't need you, I can help you. I'm here for you. I can do things for you that other people can't. She's very smart.
Claiming she was protecting his wealth, Dee Dee started transferring Abraham's assets into her name.
Well, it started with the BMW, the 750. It went from Abraham's name into hers. Then the house, then his money, and I think it was like about 3.7 million. All of his wealthy belongings was being transferred to her.
I had money. I didn't need money like this. I had plenty of money. I had money.
So what's wrong with having a bit more money?
I'm not greedy like that, and I could make as much money as I wanted and Abraham was worth more to me alive than dead.
You get tired of people asking you for money all the time, Abe?
They don't take no for ounces, so I just let them keep on acting.
Mm-hmm.
With control of Shakespeare's property, Dee Dee then made a video that could later act as the perfect alibi.
So where do you want to go to?
It don't matter to me. I'm not a picky person.
California. You want a foreign country?
She knew she wanted to kill the man. That's why all that was filmed. That wasn't filmed just for the looks. It was filmed for part of the plan.
Are you gonna miss your home?
Yep, I miss it, but life goes on.
Just weeks after this video was made, Abraham Shakespeare disappeared without a trace.
Have you seen this millionaire? His name is Abraham Shakespeare.
It was at this convenience store that Abraham Shakespeare bought the lotto ticket that changed his life. But it's a life that officials now fear may have ended in foul play.
Over the next 7 months, police continually looked to Dee Dee Moore for answers.
He is gone, okay?
He is missing. He wants to be missing.
7 months ago, he has not had a word to anyone.
He wants to be missing.
She told different people that he was on a cruise. One story she provided was in the Bahamas on a vacation. Another story she had mentioned that he was somewhere in the Caribbean receiving treatment for AIDS.
He wanted to pretend he was dying of AIDS so that he doesn't have to pay child support and people won't look for him if he's dying of AIDS.
Why did he tell anybody else that?
Mental.
Dee Dee.
You're not gonna believe me. You're gonna think I really freaking hurt this man.
I honestly can't look at you and believe a word that's come out of your mouth. You have lied and lied and lied and lied. Where's he at? Please, Dee Dee.
She was very arrogant and cocky. Obviously, it wasn't going to work, but I think in her mind, she thought that she could continue to pull one over on us.
By now, police were convinced of Dee Dee's involvement, but would need concrete evidence for an arrest. In early 2010, the county sheriff ordered a trap with the help of undercover cop Mike Smith.
They suspected she was involved in something. They was pretty confident that she was the one responsible. My thing was to get her to admit, yeah, he's dead. This is where he is. We wanted to get a body.
Smith posed as a jail-bound drug dealer willing to take the rap for Abraham's murder in exchange for $50,000. When he met Dee Dee in a downtown car park, He was wearing a wire, and they were under close surveillance.
This situation has gotten big. I'm in over my head.
Oh, we can do this, but I'm gonna need a body.
Why would you do that, though, for me?
I'm going anyhow. I'm going anyhow.
If you do this, you're gonna be a very popular person. You're gonna be a legend.
They set me up. If you listen to the tape, he manipulates me. People say no. Listen to the tape. You will see him manipulate me.
Once I go in here and confess to this shit, they done with you. Because they definitely gonna want the fucking body.
Okay. Deal. Like I said, I know there's a body. I'll fix everything where he's at and everything. And then, what do you want?
50 grand.
Okay.
Four days later, Dee Dee led undercover police directly to Abraham's burial place, underneath a concrete slab in Woodland, just behind one of her houses.
If I would have known he was in my yard, don't you think that, why would I lead him back there? Do you think I'm really that stupid? Do I look really that stupid of a person do I look that stupid? That's what people make me think. Do you think I'm that ignorant? Do you think that if I knew that man was dead in my property, I wanted to know what they did to him? I wanted to know. I kept looking.
It always feels like, I'm coming home when I come back to Austin. But, the memories everywhere, both good and bad memories.
After spending 10 years in prison for her part in the murder of Stephen Beard, Tracy Tarlton rarely returns to her hometown.
Just as we've been driving along here, we passed by the house where I was living. When this crime occurred, we passed by the hospital. It creeps up on me to realize, how much I've lost.
Since she was released from prison 5 years ago, Tracy struggled to adapt to a life on the outside.
I've lost a lot of friends, but the fact that I have lost so many friends makes the friends that have stuck by me all that much more important. So I sort of traded quantity for quality in a way. Joan?
Hey,
Hey, nice to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Watch the kitty.
Watch the kitty. Hi, Rupert. Hi. Rupert, look who's here. It's Aunt Tracy.
Whoopie doop. Here's the glory days.
Yeah, here we are. The Austin American statesman, Celeste. God, I think she's just one manipulative, evil fucking bitch. Can I say that?
Well, you just did.
Just a black widow. Just cunning and calculating.
Mm-hmm.
That whole time that she was pretending like, not that she didn't love you.
Oh,
because I think
didn't
she
love
did.
me. No, she didn't. She did not.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all ruse.
I want to believe that.
Well, Joan,
a little.
I know, but it's
the whole
just
time.
Impossible. It was a ruse.
Tracy had taken responsibility for Stephen Beard's murder, but a newspaper article about her ex-lover Celeste getting married made her think again.
It was a short period of time since we had ended it, and it became starkly clear just in an instant. She had lied to me, I had been manipulated, I had believed her, and I had shot this guy. Now, I knew, for no reason but for his money.
With this realization, Tracy approached state prosecutors and offered to testify against Celeste in return for a shorter sentence.
The eyes of Austin, Texas are on one place: the courthouse where Celeste Beard is about to go on trial for the murder of her husband, Steve.
This was a tremendous story in the media. You have this millionaire. He was murdered by his wife's lesbian lover. You have the issues of money, you have the issues of sex, you have some madness involved in this case. You have all that swirled in with family conflict. It's almost like something William Shakespeare would have written about.
The most powerful impression is made by Celeste herself, who enters the courtroom to gasps of surprise.
They open the door and she comes in, hobbles in on these crutches.
I fainted in the county hospital and my foot stuck to the concrete. And so when I spun around, I got a spiral fracture in my tibia.
Right before the trial started, I believe a doctor wanted to take the cast off. And she said, wait, don't. Let me talk to my attorney first. It was like she thought that cast would get sympathy.
Having inherited millions from her husband, Celeste was able to fund a first-class defense team.
Celeste's lawyer, Dick DeGuerin, is famous for his high-profile clients like Robert Durst and the Branch Davidians.
Well, I got a call, and she was in jail and she needed help.
He's the #1 lawyer in Texas. I paid over $2 million in legal fees.
We believe sincerely in Celeste's innocence. I found her very pleasant. She is intelligent. She was adamant about how she had not had anything to do with Stephen's death.
The prosecution's star witness was Tracy Tarlton.
Show us how you shot.
I walked down to the end of the bed and I saw him and I pulled up and I shot him.
What did you say about her suggestion that she shoot Steve Beard?
I said, I don't want to do this. She said, and there's nothing left. You know, I might as well just take it right now and shoot myself. And I said, fine, let's go. I'll do it.
But just as powerful was testimony from Celeste's own daughters, who told the court how she treated her husband.
I mean, she called him a fat fuck. That was the main thing she called him a pig. And she talked about how she hoped that Stephen Beard would just die. Why didn't he just die? So she could go on living the kind of life that she wanted to live without him.
He let you into his home, loved you, honored, obeyed you, and you murdered him. You are guilty.
The fact that those girls testified against their own mother is huge because they realized finally what she actually was. She was a cold, calculated person who pushed people to their limits.
Christina, what are you saying by deliberately...
But it was a series of phone calls recorded by her daughters that lifted a veil on Celeste's manipulative ways.
To hear her threaten them constantly, repeatedly, through tape after tape after tape. And then to have a tape where Celeste says, calmly, I hired someone to kill Tracy.
You know me, but you don't. When you came home, I was going to say, I hired somebody to kill her.
The call was manipulated, it was altered. They didn't even play the rest of the phone calls or the whole thing.
That is your voice talking on the phone, is that
Well,
right?
yes, it is.
You heard her. It was edited. It doesn't matter what the facts are to Celeste.
Do you think she'll ever admit what she's done?
No. She does not strike me as the kind of person that would ever take responsibility for her actions. I think that she was just, by nature, a cruel, manipulative person.
Celeste was raised in Southern California.
When she was a baby, she cried a lot. And she wasn't a happy child.
She was adopted by Nancy when she was just 4 days old.
I just think she was confused. I don't know. I just don't know. She just cried. Are you going to say that I'm responsible for the way she turned out? No. It's inside of her that's the problem.
Celeste and her mother haven't always been close and didn't speak for many years.
I apologize for the way I keep going in and out of your life. This letter is extremely hard for me to write. It has taken me almost a year to have the courage to tell you my true feelings. I am so tired of bearing everything so deep inside of me. I hurt and I try to pretend I don't. I don't really know how you feel about me. I guess I never have. I miss you and I am sorry about all of this. I wish I could have been a better daughter. I love you, Celeste.
Oh, I had a wonderful childhood. I was raised by a wonderful mom. My mom was a saint compared to most mothers.
So you've got a strong moral compass?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You know, we didn't get beat or whipped or anything like that. She made you put yourself in somebody else's shoes. How would you feel if they did that to you, or, you know, stuff like that.
Authorities in Florida have filed first-degree murder charges against Doris Dee Dee Moore in connection with the death of Abraham Shakespeare.
The Hillsborough County office says the remains do belong to the missing lottery winner. They found Shakespeare's body buried under a concrete slab.
On January the 28th, 2010, the remains of missing lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare were unearthed on Dee Dee Moore's property. What they discovered showed how far she had gone to conceal the crime.
He was found buried pretty deep, about 9 feet below the surface. He was in a pair of red denim jeans, kind of a bomber-style jacket and a white t-shirt, but he was missing the shoes that he had on, and also all metal from the jacket, to include the zippers, and the buttons and zippers in his jeans were cut out. She had removed those to avoid metal detection.
The evidence against Dee Dee was damning. 2 bullets that matched her gun were found in Shakespeare's chest. His blood was on her carpet, and a digger used to dig the hole found in nearby storage. Dee Dee was immediately brought in for questioning.
You don't protect
All right.
me. You won't just tell me. You don't care if I'm killed. You don't care. You don't think it's a big deal. You think I've done this. You think I took a gun and shot somebody.
Dee Dee, look at the bright side. If you can convince me, you can convince anybody.
But you think I took a gun and shot
Am
this
I right?
man.
If you can convince me, you can convince anyone. I have a homicide in my county, and I have a body recovered, obviously. And I have a pretty good idea of what happened. Now it's time to lay it out.
I did not kill that man.
I interviewed her, basically confronting her. We sat with her for probably 3+ hours.
Now Dee Dee had a new story, that Abraham was killed in a drug deal gone wrong.
2 murderous thugs killed Abraham Shakespeare, but they're going to leave you a witness alive.
Dee Dee said Abraham pulled a gun on one of the dealers, and a man called Ronald shot him.
When confronted with the fact that the projectiles taken out of his body matched the firearm that she owned and purchased, she then changed the story that her safe was open and this drug dealer, Ronald, was able to grab this firearm. She would change her story on the spot. She would almost lose herself in the statements that she was providing. You can almost see the wheels turning in her head. She would look off into space and then come up with another excuse. Ronald didn't exist. It was a made-up character.
You try to tell the cops these people exist and they laugh at you. They think you're crazy.
Dee Dee Moore blamed everybody for the murder of Abraham Shakespeare except herself. She said that this fictitious drug dealer did it, the undercover officer did it, and even her own son.
Dee Dee, this isn't one you can talk your way out of.
Police have their own version of what happened to Abraham Shakespeare.
We feel on the night of April 6, 2009, Abraham started to confront Dee Dee Moore about not having the money accessible to him. And the confrontation ensues, and ultimately he's shot and killed over the money.
Are you gonna miss your home?
Yeah, but I miss it, but life goes on.
We found his remains still in the same clothing that he was last seen in a video that she had recorded.
Dee Dee, it's all over. It's all over.
Dee Dee Moore will spend the rest of her life in prison after a jury handed down their verdict. Moore is guilty of killing Abraham Shakespeare to get and keep his lottery winnings.
On the 10th of December 2012, Dee Dee Moore was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
You're probably the most manipulative person that this court has seen. Abraham Shakespeare was your prey and your victim. Money was the root of the evil that you brought to Abraham.
I'm not a manipulator type person. I didn't deserve this. Being charged with something I didn't do. I was really innocent, so I was really upset with him.
Since being in prison, Dee Dee has changed her story again.
How did Abraham die? Who killed him?
I don't know how Abraham died. I know what it says in the police report, but I really wasn't there.
It is said in the Bible, in the book of Timothy, that money is the root of all evil. People loved her, but all she loved was money. When you boil it down to the bare essence of why this offense occurred, why Stephen Beard was killed, it was all about her love of money. That's all she cared about.
Celeste Beard Johnson's trial had lasted for 4 weeks. On the 19th of March 2003, the verdict was finally delivered.
I think this case is a clear example that no matter how much money you have, no matter how great an attorney you may be able to hire, money can't buy your way out of everything.
State versus Celeste Beard Johnson. Verdict of the jury. Verdict form 1, capital murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Celeste Beard Johnson, guilty of the offense of capital murder.
You look at all the people who she harmed in this, destroyed Tracy Tarlton's life. In some sense, destroyed the lives of her kids. Stephen Beard had children also, and grandkids. We never should have had to put up with her and her manipulation and machinations. She's now where she belongs, away from us.
Come here, Mike. It doesn't do me any good to, hate Celeste or to wish bad things on Celeste. And it's just so typical of her to, gloat over the fact that, I had breast cancer. I mean, that's kind of Celeste in a nutshell right there.
Celeste has been locked up for 14 years. One of her only contacts on the outside is her mother.
This is the call.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just tired. Still, we had a hanging a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Cut her wrist and then hung herself.
Did she die?
No, she's okay, but the other one died.
Oh, I see. Well, just be careful.
I will. All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.
The caller has hung up.
I don't think Celeste would, sure, she might kill herself. She might hurt herself. That's always been her. She'd hurt herself, but she never had hurt anything else.
Do you think Celeste ever lied?
No, I don't think she's ever lied to me particularly. I don't think so.
If you go back and look at their relationship, Celeste said terrible things about her mother. But now, Celeste is at a point in her life, who does she have? The Beards aren't going to be there, her children aren't going to be there. So who does she have? Her mother?
What's your biggest fear?
Of being alone in here. And that my children will never forgive me for not being the mother that they needed me to be. But I'm not a murderer, and I know that they know deep down inside that I did not participate. And I hope someday that they will forgive me.
Celeste will be eligible for parole in 2043, when she'll be 80 years old. If she doesn't admit her guilt, she'll spend the rest of her life behind bars.